Hi, everybody. It's Jessica. Today, I just want to go over the nuts and bolts that you need to know to be able to get started with video editing in WeVideo. I will not go over a lot of the extras just to keep this nice and concise. If you want to stretch your knowledge with WeVideo, you'll want to find them either online at wevideo.com or find them on YouTube. They have several recent webinars explaining some of the extras that you can do with WeVideo. So I have now gone to wevideo.com. I have clicked on the link that was given so I could have the paid for seat. The free version's okay, but the university, the School of Education, has paid for your seat in WeVideo so you could have access to unlimited recording time, almost, and premium sound effects. So make sure you're using the paid for version of WeVideo. So we've gone to WeVideo, we're logged in with our university credentials, and we're brought to a screen that kind of looks like this. So the first thing you'll want to do if you're making a video is click on video. And so from there, it will ask you to name your project. Project is kind of like a folder in a way. So I have several projects. You would have to probably pick one if you have, like it would ask you to name, to come up with a project title. So I'll just leave mine, click start editing. I don't fuss a lot with the project titles. All right, so now it's time to get clips into the clip bin, okay? So I would click import and then probably import from Google Drive. So what I would have done is I would have recorded my video with my phone and then put Google Drive on my phone, open to Drive, press the plus sign and upload my video from my phone to Google Drive. That way, when I come back here and click on that Drive button, it will start combing Google Drive. And so here it's got all my folders. I can scroll down and hopefully find that video. It would help if you named your video on your phone. So call it something, because as you can tell, it's a little challenging to go find it, right? But if I knew the title of it, I could just search. Okay. The other option is if it's on an SD card, like a micro, like the Pocket Osmo, for example, or a drone, right? You would have that SD card reader connected to your computer, then click browse to select and actually go find the image on that SD card. So I'm not going to upload something because it'll make this whole video a little laggy. I'm just going to grab a previous clip. So here I am. So I'm going to grab, I'm just dragging this down to video 1. And so if you want to trim it, right? So let's say you don't want it to start right where it is. You want it to start about 40 seconds in. I'm just going to drag the timeline head here down to where I want it to come in. And I might press play. What does that mean for you? I work to make sure it's right where I want it. If I want to be really precise, I can zoom in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm sorry, bottom right-hand corner. And notice I am just zooming in on that track tremendously. And I kind of like that because I can get real fussy. So if I want it just there, but not there, right, I can actually do that. So then I tap the scissors and it cuts the clip. I single left click on the piece I don't want and press the delete key. So now I want to zoom back out. So I'm going to grab onto this and zoom out so I can kind of see. I wanted to see just how far off I am from the beginning. So I'm going to left drag my clip to the beginning. I try to make sure to start all my edits from left to right. That helps a lot with having to go back and realign your clips. So I might then want to listen to the end and see how the ending goes. So I'd press play.
Have access to the things they need.
And if I don't want this section, like I realize the ending's not quite right, drag it where I want. Again, I might need to zoom in and press the scissors and then left click the end and the delete key and then zoom back out. So I can also add text. So I'm going to go up here to the top left area and click the text button. And there are several to pick from. including in seasonal stuff. And if I don't want them to move, I can look at static and also call outs should I just want like a floating box, for example. I usually take motion, and I'm not real fussy about which one I pick. Just for an example, I'm just going to grab the first one. And so I drag it where I want it. Again, you might have to zoom in to get it just right. And then I double click it. Write what I want. Pick my font. And I tend to be real careful with the color. Reds, blues, anything real vibrant it's pretty hard on the eyes, especially if there's stuff behind it. So be good to your viewers' eyes. I try to pick something that's thick in a way, that way it just shows up just a little bit better. I don't do anything that's like cursive. Nobody can read that anyway. On, say, a mobile device, it would be real small and definitely a challenging to read. So I can take text. I can also enlarge it. I can click manual and make it bigger. And here's where I would change the color. Just be very careful with that. And you can scale it like that and flip it and turn it sideways if that is for some reason something you'd want to do. I can also move it. So if I want it in the bottom corner to show up like as with my name on it, I don't know, or maybe the subject of the video, who knows? Any kind of annotation you want to make. And then I can click Save Changes. And so I can zoom back out and see where I'm at with things. If I don't want that to go that long, I just left grab and drag accordingly. Okay. All right, so what about audio? So if I want audio, I'm going to click the audio tab and go down to premium music and find something that is appropriate. And I'm not even going to listen to it. I'll just drag it down and let go. If I don't, like this fades in, if I want it to start with music right away, I can, again, hold left click and drag to the right and get it set like that. Let go, move my clip. And then I need to zoom back out. I can't see where this thing ends. There we go. Okay, so it's pretty close. I'm gonna hold down on this end here and drag it to the left. About here. And if I want the music to fade out, I'm going to left click wherever I want it to start fading. And this dot appears. Now grab the other dot that signifies the end, drag it down, and look at that. I now have added a fade out effect. Now, generally speaking, the sound's always way too loud, especially if you have anybody talking over top. Or in the background of your video. So I try to lower the volume of mine significantly. So 22%, make sure I go the same on the other side-ish. Sometimes I get frustrated and just, 24, close enough. Most people can't hear, can't tell. There we go. All right, so now we've done video, audio, text. Let's do transitions. So transitions would be if I want it to do something interesting in between the transitions. I try not to get too silly with these because they're actually kind of distracting. I generally only do crossfade, so you just grab onto it, and I've got my left hand index finger is holding down, and my right index finger is dragging. And I'm going to let go. If it's green, I'm good to go. There we go. And so now this clip is going to
the G switch and so there you have it. That should give you a little tour.
That faded out. That was horrible. So I noticed that for me to listen as I've turned down the volume on the final product, but I don't want to hear that full blast. So notice on the far left here, I'm going to turn this audio way down to 22%, just so I can kind of hear it as I wanted it edited.
Osmo swivels, even a few iPads. And
It's still really loud, isn't it? So you have to decide. I like the background noise, some music for all my projects usually, but it can't be overpowering, especially if there are people talking. You cannot use music from YouTube or anything that you don't have permission from the artist to use. So you can go to, there are plenty of free places to get music, or you can just use what's in WeVideo. Do not rip something off YouTube and insert it into your project. Okay. So when we're done, let's say we're done, we'll click finish and give it a title if you like, click set. And then I always bump mine up to HD, high definition, for the best quality possible. I do not export it to any other location, and then I'll mark it not public. I sometimes people will do Drive or YouTube as their destination to automatically send it, and you can. I don't, because I often, it seems like I'm logged into the wrong YouTube account and my video just shot off into like the School of Ed's YouTube page. It's not, often it's not exactly what I had in mind. So I'm not going to pick anything. I'm just going to leave this first circle lit for WeVideo and click export. And now this clip is fairly short. Well, it's 2 minutes. So what's going on now is my video is processing out in WeVideo land, and eventually I'll be able to download it. So there will be a download button. It's an arrow pointing down. Once that finally appears, right, I'm going to click that and it downloads a copy to my machine that I then can upload to YouTube, Facebook, wherever I'm going with this. All right, so that gives you just the bare bones as to what you need to know to be able to edit in WeVideo. Let me know if you have any questions or need help.